recently I gave my group a task to create a flyer for an island here in quite close to Glasgow.
Okay.
It's an island who focuses on tourism, and they wanted to have a flyer, and so we did that. And you would see people who start drawing, others who look at a blank page for a few minutes. It's so others who just write and others who just draw, and it's amazing.
Everyone sees things differently, and everyone tackles things differently.
Hmm. Hmm.
Especially nowadays, I know there's a buzzword as well in today's day and age, but it's true. In today's day and age, I think that we are more susceptible to judgment by others because of obviously social media.
Hmm.
It's a fact, I would say. And having the courage to be you, it's 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 quite difficult. It takes a lot of courage, more than it used to be in the past. Because in the past, especially in Malta, we're a small community. You know the people in your village, perhaps, and that's it. So your network is around 50 or 70 people, but
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
today your network is much larger than that, and sometimes it's very difficult to be not authentic, because you might be authentic and you might want to be authentic, but it's being you,
Yes, yes.
comfortable being
It's
you.
being vulnerable, Daniel, the way I
Yes,
see it.
yes, that's
So
well.
I am lucky to have lived for a few years without social media. So I know that it was different, and I have seen what social media does. Sometimes people can be so engulfed in it that it's
Mhm.
the reality. And one of the things that I am very conscious of is the dopamine hit that we get when we get likes on our posts, etc. And to be honest with you, I have moved quite a bit away from the social media, um, one particular platform, um, because I think that we need to live our life in the real world. And if I condition myself based on how many likes I get, then I'm not happy, because it's going to always be dependent on other people's likes.
Yeah.
So yes, when I put a post on social media, I wouldn't say that I don't look at it. And to be honest with you, it gives me a nice feeling, but I am careful,
Hmm.
in the sense that I don't do it on purpose and often just for my own uh,
Selfish reassurance,
dopamine hit
probably.
sort
Yes,
of
yes,
thing.
yes,
And
yes.
at the moment, I would say that it's very topical, especially in Malta. When I look at the current debates on people who were going on a particular program and what they're faced with, etc. And
Mm.
uh, it's sad. Honestly, it's sad that sometimes it reminds me of the Stanford prison experiment. I don't know
Mm.
if you've heard about that,
Yeah, yes.
because sometimes we might take it too far.
We might, and we might assume an identity which is not ours.
Yes, yes. Yes. A few months ago, I had written an article, and when I write, I tend to be a bit um, provocative in what I write. No,
Okay.
no, in the in the intellectual sense,
Yeah.
hopefully. But yes, so I wrote an article a few months ago, and it was about the joy of seeing other people suffer,
Okay.
and it was about how, unfortunately, there is a trend which I'm observing, that is, I am fine with writing things which are hurtful from
Mm.
my keyboard because I feel detached from that, and I don't realize the hurt that it's bringing. And that particular article was published, and it was also published on social media, and I did not realize. And someone sent me a message, and they told me, was this article authored by you? And I said, where did this come from? When I didn't realize that it was on social media, I said yes. And the moment I said yes, it was authored by me, um, I got messages like, how dare you say that illegal aliens are people? And I was saying, what on earth is this person talking about? And I
Illegal
realized that
aliens.
it was, apparently it was construed to be about illegal immigration.
Okay.
So it took a life of its own. And to be fair with you, this had nothing to do with immigration. It started because I was seeing people who would say something about Malta in a particular way, and someone is telling them, if you don't like it, go away. How
Yes.
can you ask someone to go away? Today it's different. I did go away, but not for those reasons, you know. But how can you tell someone if you don't like it, go away, when it's your country as much as it is someone else's? But that article, there were people who were saying this is an immature person who doesn't know what she's writing. There were others who were saying that I am taking European funding money. So there were all these sort of stories that were construed around this. And this was a very small article. Okay? Let alone if you're putting yourself out there for people to judge. And it was hurtful for me. People were telling me, don't look at the comments, because I tend to take them personal. And at the end of the day, if I wrote an article, then I'm expecting
Yeah.
expecting a reaction. The problem was that it was misconstrued in another way. But
Yeah.
that's apparently normal. So
That's the drama that we all enjoy. I
yes,
get. Not
yes,
everyone,
yes,
but
yes.
yeah. No,
So yes.
but it's very true. I think that things can take a negative turn really quickly on social media. So, and uh, and you have to be very strong to take that. And I would take it personally as well. So I'd rather not see the comments than see them and spend and spend a day like a mummy or something.
There was one particular comment, I can't remember exactly the expression used, but it was along the lines of immature and young.
Well, you wanted to be provocative, right?
And that was the joy of seeing other people suffer, most probably. But anyway, so I think we need to be very careful with realizing the strength of emotions that real people, feel when
Yeah,
comments can be hurtful.
yeah. And sometimes things are not. Sometimes we take things literally, or we analyze them at face value. And sometimes we have to ask ourselves, okay, but what did this person had in mind, or what did they wanted to convey with this article, or with this
Mhm.
video, or with this post? Sometimes see things, and because um, uh, we are in touch with many information at one go, sometimes we don't have enough time, I think, to process what we are seeing and scrolling on social media. Just with the immediate thought that comes in, we immediately type a message or a response to that without thinking too deeply. Um, it's the
We have
fast-paced world.
preconceptions, Daniel, we have
Yeah,
preconceptions.
we do.
And when we see something, we color it in our own mental frame. And this is where my research actually comes in.
Hmm.
Because I research ethical decision making in everyday business decisions.
Okay.
And we have a lot of preconceptions into what business decision making is. And we take decisions based on those. So something which came out of my research is that, for example, as we tend to grow older, we choose our battles. So we don't fight every battle because it depletes us.
Yeah.
And so we don't fight for everything that there is to fight for. And we allow things to happen even though we don't believe in them.
Hmm.
And it's I would say it's the reality of many people, and it's this type of conditioning that when I'm making a decision as an entrepreneur, for example, many people tell you, you cannot be too naive. because otherwise you'll run out of business. And I would say that wisdom in business and in entrepreneurship is probably different than the cheating that people associate with it.
Mm.
Because I think that we can be wise and not cheating, but many people associate that unless you cheat in one way or another, you're not going to get the business.
That's very true. Um, they see it as a synonym. It's one on the same. But
Hmm.
yeah.